Someone gives you a compliment, and you brush it off. You achieve something big, but you convince yourself it was just luck. You have results, yet there's always a voice in your head saying, "What if they've got the wrong impression of me?" If that voice sounds familiar, you might be experiencing something that millions of people quietly struggle with but rarely talk about. And here's the paradox. It often affects the very people who have the most reason to believe in themselves. Here's the biggest misconception about imposter syndrome. Most people think it happens because you're not good enough. But in reality, it's often the exact opposite. It doesn't show up when you have nothing to prove. It shows up when you finally start succeeding. You land your first high-paying job. You launch your first business. You sign your first major client. Or you buy your first home. The very moment you should feel proud of yourself. A voice whispers, "You just got lucky. You don't really deserve this." So where does that voice actually come from? Imagine a child who grows up constantly hearing, "You're so smart." Sounds like a compliment, right? But over time, that child may start believing that their value depends on always being the smartest person in the room. Then one day, they make a mistake. Instead of seeing it as a normal part of learning, they see it as proof that maybe they were never that smart to begin with. The same thing can happen if you grew up in a highly critical or extremely competitive environment, where every mistake felt like failure. Eventually, you stop asking, "Did I make a mistake?" and start asking, "Am I the mistake?" And if you still think this only happens to insecure people, think again. Actor Tom Hanks has spoken about fearing that one day people would realize he wasn't as talented as they believed. Emma Watson has admitted that as she became more successful, she often felt she didn't deserve it. Michelle Obama has also spoken about questioning whether she truly belonged in the room she had earned her way into. If people who have proven themselves over and over again still struggle with self-doubt, maybe the problem isn't that you're not good enough. Maybe the problem is the voice trying to convince you that you're not. Here's one of the strangest paradoxes of the human mind. People who know the least are often the most confident that they know enough. Meanwhile, the people who have spent years learning and improving begin to realize just how much they still don't know. There's even a psychological phenomenon called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It suggests that people with limited knowledge sometimes overestimate their abilities. It's not the same thing as imposter syndrome. But together, they reveal something fascinating. The more you truly understand a subject, the more aware you become of everything you still have to learn. The real problem isn't that it makes you feel insecure. The real problem is what that insecurity makes you do. You turn down opportunities because you don't feel ready. You don't ask for the salary you deserve because you feel like you haven't earned it yet. You delay projects because you're afraid they won't be good enough. Or you work yourself into exhaustion, trying to prove, to everyone else and to yourself, that you deserve to be where you are. And here's the irony. Most of the time, no one is asking you to prove any of that. Except the voice inside your own head. The good news is, you can break this cycle. Not by forcing yourself to feel more confident, but by learning to trust evidence more than the voice in your head. Start by keeping track of your achievements. Not your emotions. Your results. Finished projects. Goals you've reached. Positive feedback you've received. Your brain forgets successes surprisingly fast. But it remembers mistakes for a very long time. Then, every time you catch yourself thinking, "I just got lucky," ask yourself one simple question: if someone else had done exactly what I did, would I call it luck? Most of the time, the answer is no. And maybe the most important thing of all, accept that you can be highly capable and still experience moments of self-doubt. Those two things can exist at the same time. Feeling uncertain doesn't mean you don't deserve the success you've earned. Maybe the voice inside your head isn't trying to tell you the truth. Maybe it's just trying to protect you from failure. But in doing so, it convinces you that you don't deserve the success you've already earned. The real danger isn't having imposter syndrome. The real danger is letting it make your decisions for you. If you've ever felt like your success was just luck, type a simple yes in the comments. I'm curious how many of us have been fighting this battle in silence. And if you want to understand the hidden psychological forces that shape your decisions, and learn how to take back control, subscribe to the Control Code. Because sometimes, the hardest person to control isn't someone else. It's the voice inside your own mind.